throughout the human history, a lot of artists, they kind of transitioned from doing like art and 2D like sketching, and then you go to painting, and then you go from painting to sculpture and like doing, whether it's marble or it's clay or whatever you want to get into. And then from 3D, a lot of them would make at least in classical terms, a lot of them would make the transition to architecture.
Okay.
And so,
Kind of a natural progression.
yeah, definitely. And so you see that in a lot of like the classic masters, from the Renaissance and stuff. They a lot of them made the transition from, painting murals and doing stuff to like then designing and doing, architecture for these spaces and stuff.
Starting out very two-dimensional and getting more and more three-dimensional.
Landscape architecture is a lot of times we're the architect of the site, right? So if there's a plot of land that's been undeveloped, we'll come in and we'll do an analysis of the site and see what the topography is and see how the water moves on the site and inventory all the existing foliage and take notes of what's desirable and undesirable and what's to remain and what's not to remain.
Wow.
And then even everything from depending on the size and the scale of the site is putting in the right of way and figuring out where the roads are going to go and figuring out where you can do land planning within that. And so it's figuring out, this is where the commercial district's going to be. This is where, the residential district's going to be. This is where, I don't know, a certain other type of residential like dwellings and units are going to be. So you can do big scale stuff like that all the way down to some landscape architects do just small scale residential design, which is,
Sure.
Your front yard and your backyard or your pool and, amenities like that. And then there's also really cool stuff that people do like, resort hotel and design, which is like entertainment-based design, which is cool. And in Orlando here, there's a lot of that. So
A lot of different areas.
yeah, definitely.
So when you're going through becoming a landscape architect in the early stages, how do you niche down in that and figure out what area you want to get into? I guess it probably looks different for everyone.
Yeah, I think for me it was like what I was exposed to in my classes and in past internship experiences that I had had. But I think everyone kind of figures it out differently.
Sure.
There's some people that, are very interested and they come in knowing that they want to do that. And there's some people that, it's just like anything. You got to kind of, put your foot in the water and figure out, what's best to you.
So what did that process look like for you personally?
I think it was, schooling and also, past internships and, being exposed to different, forms of development and forms of landscape architecture. If you go to landscape architecture, you can see some of the stuff. So these are just...
This is really impressive stuff, by the way.
Thanks. Yeah. So these are just some renderings that I did at a workshop when I was interning there. And it's just, it's amenity-based design and, pools and cabanas and, little planting beds and whatnot. I was really, really blessed to have great kind of leadership and great, people to work underneath. Derek Sissel was, a guy that I worked underneath for a couple internships, and he really kind of held my hand and showed me the ropes and, showed me what he was interested in and asked me what I was interested in and, would, show me this is how you do this is how you do that, and then, give me leeway and, tell me to go, like, now you show me what you would want to do type of deal. And he had a really, really great hand. So some of the stuff that you saw up there of just the kind of sketches and whatnot, he, like, really was, he was really, like, instrumental in, like, showing me, like, this is how we, this is how we do this line, and this is how we, do the little stone bricks, and this is how we, do the different types of, plants and the palm trees, and so there's a lot of little tips and tricks that you see that like go into this.